Hey everyone, welcome back to MNMMPT NAATI YouTube channel. This is Manmohan. In today's video, I am going to share a few tips that you guys can use in your note taking for the Retell lecture topic, which is one of the most important topic ever, especially for your PT listening and PT speaking component as well. So do watch this video until the very end. Take good notes so that if you are also struggling to get marks in the Retell lecture, or if you just want to increase few marks maybe in your speaking or maybe especially in your listening part in the next exam, this video is definitely for you. So the first tip that I want to give to you is taking notes in phrases versus sentences versus keywords as well. Now, first of all, keywords is a no game. That means just forget about taking keywords. If you're aiming for 50 or below, keywords might work for you to get you few marks here and there. But if you're aiming for 65 or if you're aiming for 79, unfortunately, keywords are not going to take you anywhere. So prefer avoiding that. Now, if you have to choose between taking phrases or sentences, I would any day, anytime go for phrases as compared to sentences. Two reasons. First of all, obviously taking phrases is a lot better as compared to taking sentences. They're shorter, they're smaller, they're easy to take. Second thing is, even if you're taking sentences, they're not wrong. But then if you're taking phrases, there's still no harm. You can still attain a full score in the Retell lecture even by taking phrases. So if I am able to attain a full score by taking phrases, I would any day prefer going with the easy way. I would any day prefer taking phrases. Now, what do I mean by phrases? For example, there's a complete sentence saying today is a bright sunny day in Adelaide. Now, if you break this sentence out, today is a bright sunny day in Adelaide, phrase means part of a sentence. Now, the way Retell lecture works is, if you haven't watched our full video on Retell lecture latest method, I'll link it down in the description. Do watch that out. Over there, we clearly explained that any couple of words that are coming together in a sentence can be counted as a phrase. In Retell lecture, making sense doesn't matter. Your sentences, your phrases, your notes doesn't have to be grammatically correct, and you can still attain a full score. So out of today is a bright sunny day in Adelaide, if someone is taking bright sunny day, that phrase is also correct. But if someone is taking sunny day in Adelaide, that phrase is also correct. Today is a bright. Even if someone is speaking out these four words together, still it's not wrong. You can still attain a full score with that. Like I said, you don't have to make any sense in Retell lecture. As long as the couple of words that you're speaking, they're coming together, you will be getting marks for that. So while taking notes, your mindset has to be just write down the words that are coming together and not think about is it an important phrase or not. Because if you start thinking like that, the audios will go very quickly in the exam and you will not have enough time to take notes. The only thing that you need to keep in mind is the words that you're taking out of a sentence, those words have to come together. So if you are taking today is a bright, it's absolutely correct. But if you take a phrase such as today bright day Adelaide, if you are skipping few words in between and if you speak out four words together, unfortunately that is not counted as a phrase, that is counted as keywords. And like I said at the beginning of the video, keywords are not going to take you anywhere. So prefer taking phrase, few words, prefer taking minimum 3 words in a row so that there is no gap in between, and that would be counted as a perfect phrase. Second tip that I want to give to you is, now before the audio starts to play in Retell lecture, you do get 4 seconds at the very beginning before that audio is being played. In those 4 seconds, your task is to quickly make a 4-section quadrant in your notebook, in the erasable notebooks that you would be getting in the exam, so that you know that you're going to speak 4 sentences in a template. And if you have already divided your page into 4 quadrants, it becomes easier for you to take notes and it becomes easier for you to count how many phrases you have taken. I've seen many of my students, what they do is they start writing down all their phrases in a list. Now, honestly, nothing wrong with that. But if you're taking the notes in a sequence, or let's say if you're taking the notes in a list, chances are when you start speaking them out during that recording time, you will forget how many phrases you have spoken in each sentence. And maybe chances are when you're speaking out your last sentence of, which is the conclusion sentence, you might just run out of all the phrases. So I always divide my screen, I always divide my notebook into 4 quadrants. So it's easier for me to keep a track of how many phrases I've written down. Another tip that I would like to give to all of you is that once you start taking notes, let's say if you heard a phrase, bright sunny day, once you're writing that phrase, just forget about the audio. Just disconnect your brain from the audio that is running. People struggle in Retell lecture mostly because of this reason that once they are writing down something, their attention is still towards the audio, as in what's going on. Since 50% or more of their brain is still wondering what's going on in the audio, whatever they are writing, they start forgetting that stuff, and that results in making errors, making accuracy errors in your note taking. So once you have taken 3 or 4 words and you're writing down that phrase, start speaking out that phrase. This is something that I would do in my real exam. Start speaking out those couple of words while you are writing loudly, so that it disconnects your brain from the audio that is going on, and it becomes easier for you to finish that phrase. Once you finish that phrase, again start listening to the audio, catch another phrase, again start writing, and keep on repeating until you have enough amount of phrases. Another quick and basic tip for the note taking, or just general in terms of Retell lecture, is making sure that those few seconds that you get, the 4 or 5 seconds that you get at the beginning of that Retell lecture before the audio is being played, make sure that your markers, the caps of those markers, are closed. Very basic tip, but I've seen people struggling because of that one. What they do is they keep the cap open of their markers, they are ready to take notes, and by the time that audio starts playing, what happens is, since those are dry markers, their markers stop working. And if they stop working during the audio is being played, you can already imagine the kind of panic that would be there running in your brain at that point in time. So very basic thing, but make sure that your cap is closed at all times. The moment that audio starts playing, only that's when you remove your cap, and that's when you start taking notes. Last but not the least is a great tip, I would say. When you're practicing Retell lecture, I've seen many of my students, what they do is they play in their comfort zone. What they'll do is they'll play a very long and slow kind of audios which are 60 seconds, 90 seconds and whatnot, and they'll take notes for that. Now what happens in the exam is, you may get an audio which is worth like 60 or 90 seconds, but there's a high chance that you end up just getting 30-35 seconds audios. I have myself personally gone through one of these exams in the past. What happened was, I got 3 Retell lectures. All 3 were literally 30, 35, 30 seconds. So they gave me 3 audios. All 3 audios are 30 or 35 or again 30 seconds. So never practice easy audios and in the exam expect the same ones to be repeated. Practice the hardest of the hardest audios possible, so that in the exam, even if you end up getting a hard one, since you have already practiced enough, your brain, your hands are used to taking notes in those tricky audios as well. So what I recommend to most of my students is, whenever you want to practice your Retell lecture, practice audios which are for multiple choice, single answer, or select missing word for listening. These 2 topics, the length of the audio is anywhere between 15 to 50 seconds. Prefer playing these audios and take notes for these ones for your Retell lecture. You might struggle taking 10-12 phrases within 30 seconds, but that is the challenge that I want you to face now when you're practicing, so that in the exam, when you end up getting 40, 50 or even 60-second audios, that's when it becomes easier for you to take notes, because you've already practiced twice as hard in your practice days. And finally, if you want to get a one-on-one consultation with us, let's say if you want to do speaking in front of us, and one of us can evaluate you one-on-one live in front of you, this is something that we also do. Do message us on either Facebook or Instagram and we can discuss there. We can book a session for you. It would be one-on-one, it would be live, and obviously you can either ask any questions that you have, or maybe you can just do some sort of speaking in front of us, and then we can give you on the spot feedback. Feedback is, according to me, the most crucial thing in clearing out this PTE exam, because when someone experienced give you a feedback, you get to know where are you lacking and how can you improve from that. So like I said, you can definitely message us on Instagram or Facebook, and then we can discuss over there. If you are preparing for your NAATI Hindi or NAATI Punjabi exam, definitely message us on Instagram or Facebook to grab the latest prediction file that we have for 2021, which has got about 25 most repeated dialogues of all time. So if you are preparing for your NAATI Hindi or NAATI Punjabi exam, do message us on Instagram or Facebook. The name is literally MNMM NAATI. The links would be in the description for our social media links. And then obviously we can discuss everything over there. So thanks for watching. If you have any sort of questions, like we always say, do make sure you post them in the comment section below so that we can answer them as quickly as possible. Also, let us know in the comment section below which topics or which things are you struggling with, so that we can try to make those videos on a priority basis as compared to the ones that we have planned in the pipeline. Take care, stay safe, and if you have got your exams coming soon, all the very best for that, and I'll see you guys in the next one.